Hello? What are you doing in my boot? You little monkey. You little cheeky monkey. Hiya. Right, where are you? We've arrived. Nice little trek up Gatesgarth Pass. Well, just to this point, and then we're just going to turn right. As if we're going to be going up to Haweswater. Just finished work for my holidays, so it's quite nice just to have a little brisk walk just before going home for tea and starting my haul. So got 4 days off, so very dreamy. Some nice light just coming over Nanbeeld, so that might come into play. The waterfall, it might just sit nicely. So, nice little trek up the side of this stream. Okay, it's just a nice little walk on the way to Haweswater. It sort of gets missed, this waterfall, because you just have to sort of step down. Most folk are heading towards the tarn, but I just think Dodderwick Force is just a nice little feature on the way up. Like I say, it just sort of gets missed by folks, so we'll go there, we'll take a few photos, and we'll see how they come out. What I'll do is I'll edit the video over the weekend, and put the photo just by the, a few stills as well, just so you can look at it and see what you think, and see what each setting produces. Fucking hell, it's boggy. Whoa! Right, it's not far. Be there in a minute. I'm gonna be using a wide-angled lens. It's 10mm by 18mm, and just gives you that little bit of, so you can just pull away nicely, have the waterfall in the background, nice little pool of rocks in the foreground, and hopefully that water will just lead you into the top of the image. Might be able to incorporate that sun at the top as well, just popping through that cloud, but we'll see how it goes. I don't have really expensive equipment. The 10mm lens was about 150 quid. The camera I'm using, it's just an entry-level Canon, not flashy. You can pick it up for about 200 quid, but it does a job. It's fucking raining now. Bastard. Right, never mind. Right, we're almost here. There's the waterfall there. Nice tree there as well. To add a little bit of interest, but like I say, Haweswater, just follow that track up to there. Some waterfalls on the way up actually as well. Nanbeeld, small waterfalls up there, but we're just going to concentrate on this for today and see what we get. It's running nice and fast, so you're not going to need too much of the long shutter speeds, because it's coming pretty fast. I didn't think it'd be this heavy actually, because last time I was on this bit it was summer and it wasn't this fast, so but it's lovely, it's really nice. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me over the water, or not. Also on the camera lens, I've got a polarizing filter, and what that does is, any reflection that is on the water, it'll just cut through it so you can see in behind the water. It'll just take that glare off it. I mean, it might work for the image where, you know, the shine, you need that bit of reflection, but what I like is these rocks and the details in the rocks, so I like to just bring that out with the polarizer, and that just screws on the end of your camera, and yeah, so I'll show you that too. So I'll get the camera out. I've set the camera up where I'm quite happy with it there, and the idea is to pick up this rock pool at the front, and then hopefully that'll lead the eye in and up to the top of that waterfall with this tree sort of arching over. You've got a little bit of sun in that cloud, but what's happening is on the top of the image it's a little bit too bright, so I'm going to put on just a cheap screw-on filter, and if you look, needs a clean, but it just darkens the top edge of that sky. So when you screw it on the front of your lens, it just darkens that off. So I'll show you what I mean. When I switch the camera on, that's a bit too bright for me, but that I'm hoping leads you in. If you turn the polarizer, just see what I mean, it gives you that shine on there, which is quite nice actually, because it leads the eye in. So, but that just takes off the glare. So when I add the polarizer, that should add a bit of colour into the sky, a little bit. Right, I've screwed the filter onto the front of the camera on top of the polarizer, so that going to the live view should just put a little bit of darkness in that sky. See what I mean? It just adds a touch more to that sky. So what we've got here, the top of the waterfall on this line, the final third, the top third, the tree in there too, and this should just sort of lead you in to the top. So basically, settings wise, I've got it set to quite a shallow aperture there, so if I just change that, that'll alter the shutter speed there. So that's set at aperture 7.1 and a 1/6 of a second, so you'll get a little bit of blur in the water, and from front to back should be in focus. So we'll set the timer to 2-second timer, so once I press the shutter it'll just mean everything's steady. So we'll just do a little test shot. And if you see there, it's just bringing out the filter, so I just need to zoom in a touch and sharpen that focus there. If I just turn the polarizer, We'll see how that goes. That looks quite nice. So with regards to shutter speeds, obviously the longer you keep your shutter open, anything that's moving will blur. So this is why I'm showing you the waterfalls, because obviously that's fast running water. You leave the shutter open a little bit, it's just going to get that blur. If you want it super sharp, you've got to alter the shutter speed accordingly. So if you want it all frozen, the action, and you don't want that blur, then you're going to have to ramp the shutter speed up to about 100th, maybe 150th of a second. And this is all on manual. Switch the camera on, Glen. So what you've got here, if I switch it to there, this controls your shutter speed, which is 2.5 seconds. So that's going to get a lot of blur on the water. The aperture is f/22, so everything is going to be sharp from top to bottom of the image. And the aperture, obviously, if you change that, will alter the shutter speed. So I'll just show you the effect of 2.5 seconds on the image. So you get that blur in the image. If I alter the shutter speed, the aperture right down, that's obviously opening up the aperture, so everything's going to be blown out, so that affects the shutter speed. So then I have to go back into the shutter and alter that accordingly. So that wants to be about maybe that should maybe do it. Right, it's a bit too dark, so I'll just open up the shutter again, and that aperture, that's given me 1/6 of a second. You'll get a slight blur, but not as much on the longer aperture. That's just a wide open aperture, the f5. So I'll show you that effect. Right, I'm going to head back to the car and I'll upload the images, see how they turn out. Hopefully you've learned a little bit, probably not, but my batteries are running low, so I'm not going to get many more shots here. I've probably talked a lot of bollocks on this video, so I apologise if none of it makes any sense. But hopefully you've learned something. Once I upload these photos and get to edit the video, I'll have learned something, because a lot of it's going to be shit. So if we can get better for next time, then all well and good. That's what it's all about, just learning. So back to the car park. The cars have dispersed and I'll leave Haweswater to sleep for the weekend. Yeah, well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully it's been worthwhile. And if it turns out okay, I'll do a few more. In the meantime, have a nice weekend, and hopefully photos will turn out well. I'll upload that with the video. So yeah, happy days.